Hi, boys and girls. It is Thursday, May 14th, and I would like you to find the reading section of your packet. We are on page number 23 of your packet. Page number 23. Page number 23's title is Levers and Pulleys, and this is going to be a nonfiction text. Nonfiction means that it is a true story. Okay, something that really happened. Levers and pulleys. We're going to read the text. You'll also notice that this text has a diagram. We've been talking a lot about diagrams and how they are pictures with arrows that are labeled that show us exactly how something works. So today we're going to be talking about levers and pulleys. Let's go ahead and dive right in. What is a machine? You might think it's something that has a motor, but a machine is any tool that helps us move things. Two simple machines are levers and pulleys. A lever is made of a solid bar and of fulcrum. The fulcrum is the spot that the bar rests on. It is close to the object you are lifting. When one end of the bar goes down, the other end goes up, like a seesaw. If one end of the bar is longer than the other, it can be used to lift an object. The object is called the load. With a long, strong lever, you can lift really heavy loads. So here is our diagram using a lever. We can see right here is the bar. Okay, here's the bar. Here's the load, this is what you want to lift, and the fulcrum is this object in the middle. And it says, let's see, the fulcrum is the spot that the bar rests on, so right here, that's what the bar is resting on. When one end of the bar goes down, like it is on this side, the other end goes up, like a seesaw. So you can use this bar to help you lift a heavy load, which is the heavy things that you would like to lift. So right over here, we also see how the lever works. We see a boy, and he has got the bar. This is the fulcrum, because the fulcrum is where the bar rests. So right here on the ground is where the bar is resting, and he's using this lever to move the big rock. And that's exactly what the caption tells us. A caption tells us what's happening in the picture. So it says this boy is using a lever to lift a heavy rock. Now let's talk about pulleys. A pulley is another kind of machine. It can also be used to lift a load. It is made of a rope and a wheel. The rope passes over the wheel. When you pull down on one end of the rope, the other goes up. If something is tied to the rope, it goes up too. You might have window blinds that work this way. Machines like these have been used for thousands of years. Many of today's biggest machines are still based on levers and pulleys. So up here we talked about levers. This page, on page number 24, we talked about pulleys. Here's the diagram. Here's the diagram of our pulley. How to use a pulley. See here we've got the wheel, we've got the rope and the wheel. As the rope passes over the wheel, okay, as the rope passes over the wheel, if you pull the rope, it's going to go over the wheel and also pull the bucket up. Okay, it's going to pull your load or your bucket, whatever you're trying to lift up. Here is one real life example of a pulley. Okay, so we've got the big rope right here. Okay, here's our load right here. Here's our wheel. And as these ropes are pulled over here, it pulls the wheel, which pulls the load or the large object up so that we can lift heavy, heavy objects. Now it's time for us to turn to page number 25 and answer some questions based on what we just read. Our first question: which of the following best tells what a machine is? What is a machine? A, anything that has a motor. B, a tool that helps us move things. C, tools made with wheels and fulcrums. D, anything used to lift heavy loads. What is a machine? Well, let's go back up to the top. It says in the very first paragraph, what is a machine? You might think it's something that has a motor, but a machine is any tool that helps us move things. Any tool that helps us move things. A machine is any tool that helps us move things. So for number 1, part A, a machine is a tool that helps us move things. Part B, write the words that name 2 simple machines. All right, let's go back into the text. Up on page 23, we need to name 2 simple machines. I'm going to reread to see in paragraph number 1 if I can find where it talks about 2 simple machines. What is a machine? You might think it's something that has a motor, but a machine is any tool that helps us move. 2 simple machines are levers and pulleys. All right, so I'm going to go back down to page number 26. What are 2 simple machines? One is a lever and one is a pulley. Look at the diagram of a seesaw on page 304. What does the bar rest on? Okay, so your page numbers are a little different than mine, but let's see, the diagram of the seesaw. What does the bar rest on? Okay, so I'm going to find the diagram of the seesaw. There we go. Here's the bar. What is the bar resting on? It's resting on the fulcrum. It's resting on the fulcrum. So let me get my highlighter here. It is resting on the fulcrum, so that's C. All right, question number 3. What do the diagrams of a lever and a pulley in the article show? How to make objects easier to move, how to have fun with a simple machine, how to use a rope to lift something, how to use a bar to move something. Well, let me take a look. If I look up here, I see that the pulley uses a rope to move something, but the lever does not use a rope to move something. So I know that C can't be right. How to use a rope to lift something. That's not what the diagrams of a lever and a pulley show me, because one of those does not even use a rope. How to use a bar to move something? Well, we just learned that this pulley does not use a bar to move something, so that cannot be correct. So we've eliminated C and D. Now let's take a look at A and B. What did the diagrams of a lever and a pulley show us? How to make objects easier to move. Well, let's see. Does the pulley, let's look at this picture, does the pulley make an object easier to move? Yes, this heavy object is much easier to move. Does the lever make an object easier to move? Well, let's look at this rock. Yes, by making this lever, it's going to be easier for the boy to move the rock. So this article shows us objects that make things easier to move. Number 4, look carefully at the picture showing a person moving a rock. What does it show us about using a lever to lift something? A, the center of the bar should rest on the fulcrum. Well, let's look at the boy moving the rock. Is the center of the bar resting on the fulcrum? In the text, it says the fulcrum is whatever point on the ground that you choose to rest the bar on. So right here would be the fulcrum. That's where the bar is resting. Is this bar in the middle? resting on the fulcrum. No, it's kind of towards the end. Okay, so I don't think the bar has to be perfectly in the middle of the fulcrum for that one. So I'm not quite sure. I would choose A. Let's see. B, the bar should be long and very heavy. C, the fulcrum should be closer to the person. D, the fulcrum should be closer to the load. Let's look. Well, here's the fulcrum. Is the fulcrum closer to the object, which would be the rock, or is the fulcrum right here closer to the person? Well, I think, and as I can see in the picture, I'm sure you agree, the fulcrum should be closer to the load or what you're trying to lift. So that's what that picture shows us. Question number 5. How did the text in the diagrams help you understand the meaning of load? Okay, so how could you understand the meaning of load? Well, we see it used right here in this picture. Okay, we see it used right here in this picture. I also see on page number 23 in paragraph number 2, it says, if one end of the bar is longer than the other, it can be used to lift an object. That object that is being lifted is called the load. Okay, so if you have long, strong levers, you can lift really heavy loads. So the object that is being lifted is a load. And we can see that in the pictures, in the diagrams, and we just read it for a fact in the text. So how does the text in the diagrams make you understand the meaning of load? Well, the text tells us that a load is what is being moved. The diagrams and photos show us that a load is the object we are moving. Okay, so the text and the diagrams and the photographs all work together to show us what a load is. Number 6, how does the diagram of the pulley help you understand how to use a pulley? Here is, going back up to that page, here is the diagram of the pulley. How does this help us understand how to use it? Well, we can see that when the rope goes this direction, it pushes the wheel, and then that means that the rope that's connected to what we want to move is lifted up. So as the rope goes down, the object goes up. As the rope goes down, as you pull on the rope, it pulls the object up, okay, because it's going to spin that wheel. That's what that is showing me. So I'm going to go back to question number 6. How does the diagram of the pulley help you understand how to use a pulley? A, the diagram shows how to attach the object to a rope. That's not all it shows us. B, it shows us how pulling down on the rope lifts the object. C, it shows how fast the wheel has to turn. Or D, it shows how hard a person needs to pull. I'm going to let you do that last one on your own. You might want to go back up into the diagram picture in the page previous to take a look at that, because the question was, how does the diagram of the pulley help you understand how to use a pulley? All right, friends, we are going to stop there on page number 26 is what it is in my packet, and we will pick up with page number 27 tomorrow.